everybody, it's Cory and Rhonda with Utah Dream Properties and Keller Williams, and today we're going to talk to you about what do I do if my appraisal comes in low. So stick around for that.
Let's get to work. Let's get to work.
Okay, today we're going to talk about if the appraisal came in low, but let's talk first, is it a bad thing or is it a good thing?
It depends if you're the buyer or the seller, I would say. And really, it can be good for both. So stick with me here. If you're the seller and the appraisal comes in low, what we tell our sellers is, you know what? We got every single dollar out of that house that we could possibly get. So there's not that unknown. So normally if you're the seller, you don't see the appraisal, so you really don't know what it came in at unless it comes in low.
Right.
So that would be a positive way of looking at that. Yeah, it's frustrating, especially when you get a number in your head and you think you're gonna walk away with it. But again, that's letting you know you've got every dollar out of that. If you're the buyer, kind of the same answer. It can be good and it can be bad. It can be good, of course, because you might pay less for the house, but it can be bad because you may not get the house.
And why wouldn't they get the house?
So
that's the question that everybody wants to know.
Right. So it really depends on how the contract is written. So what we've been doing a lot lately is writing what we call an appraisal gap on our offer, because that's a great way to get your offer accepted in this market if it's not completely contingent on the appraisal. So for example, if you say, I'm going to pay $10,000 more than the appraisal if it comes in low, then you would still get the house.
Right.
If you don't have that in there, you don't have that clause in there and it's subject to the appraisal coming in, which most are, because most of our buyers are using a loan. So if that happens, then really at that point, the seller can cancel the contract, they can walk away. As the buyer, you can certainly walk away, or ideally, we'd meet in the middle. And that's what happens a lot too, is we'll go back and we'll kind of renegotiate with the seller. If we're on the seller side, we go back to the buyer and say, hey, what kind of money can you guys come in with just to keep this transaction still going?
So let's clarify that just a little bit, because that's a lot of information.
It's probably complicated,
and it's better to give us a call and we'll walk through this with you, don't worry. But kind of an overview of it is, there's basically three options if the appraisal comes in low as the buyer.
As the buyer, right.
So as the buyer, I can either pay over, right, which Rhonda was talking about, so I can pay in cash the difference, or the seller could lower the price to whatever the appraisal came to, or we can negotiate and meet in the middle somewhere. So really that's the three options.
Right.
It's just a matter of how you arrive at which one of those three.
Right, and how the contract is written as well. And we don't just tell people to pay more just because they want the house. Like, we look at the market and we tell them, yes, we've been having a lot of appreciation over the last couple of years. If that continues, which we expect it to, really you're going to get into that house and within a matter of months you're probably going to be at or above that value anyhow. And also, really one of the most important parts of this, the appraisal is that appraiser's opinion of the value. I always say we could probably
have the human element.
Right, it's very human. You could probably have 5 appraisers and get 5 different values on a lot of homes. Now, if it's a brand new build in a townhome neighborhood, you've got apples compared to apples there. But otherwise, the appraiser is really limited to using only sold comps, and it has to be within a certain radius and a certain year built and all of that. And that's just not how buyers shop for homes. So that can be a little confusing for buyers sometimes. They say, why should I pay more than it's worth? Well, that's just that one person's opinion. Okay, so another thing too, we've been in your shoes, both on the buyer and the seller side, when appraisals have come in low. We've paid more than the appraisal actually a couple different times. The most recent was 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago. We actually paid more than the appraisal. And again, it just made sense to us to do, just because we knew the demand was there. We've been looking for properties for a while in this location. And when this one came up, it was worth it to us.
The prize is getting the home.
Right.
That's when you have multiple offers like we have now, just about everywhere in the United States and the world for that matter. Right. You getting the home is the prize. So you're not really paying more than what the home is worth. You are winning the bidding and you get the home.
Right.
And then the values are increasing, so you're safe to do that at this point.
As long as the appreciation keeps going as we intend it to do. And when we see that level off, we'll certainly tell our buyers, we'll counsel them differently than we are now. But right now it doesn't make sense to cancel a contract and go back where rates are higher, prices are higher. I mean, some neighborhoods prices go up every single month. So.
Right, this comes down to knowing the market, which is what we study every day. And those are the kind of decisions that we help you make.
Right. So if you have any questions about this, again, always feel free to reach out to us. We love when we give you content, when people ask us those questions, and that's where these videos come from. So we would love to hear from you. And also we put up new videos every Friday. So like and subscribe to make sure that you're always notified of that.
And you can contact us any way you want to. All of our contact information is down below. We're here for you, phone, text, email, whatever it is. Have a great day.